You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Hello, everybody. This is Donna Stinson. Thank you so much for joining me for Can We Talk About It? Well, we most certainly talk about that elephant in the room. And so without further ado, or before I say that, I would like to say hi to my husband and thank the Lord for him. He was very sick. I think he just overdid it, and he fell out, and he kind of messed up his face and everything. We had to take him down to the VA. So if you're a good person and you love people, pray for my husband. If you're praying bad things, I rebuke you. So thank you for being the angel that's in my life, Charles, and I appreciate everything you do for me. And on with the show. So we have Attorney Falzon here again, who is such a beautiful person. I'm so glad that you came back.
Oh, yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, we were talking about the auto insurance and what to look out for.
Right.
And probably in about 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to open up the lines, at close to the end of the show.
Sure.
And let people know, they can call in, maybe ask you some questions about closed-hip injuries or anything that you may specialize in. So once again, I would like for you to tell them who you are, what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Lawrence Falzon, and I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for, unfortunately, 42 years. And I've specialized in automobile accident cases and all kinds of accident cases, but mostly auto. And we've, been trying to deal with this new no-fault law that the legislature gave us. So I was happy to come here about a month ago and do a run-through of it. And that's what I'm doing a little bit of now. I was at Father and Son's Ministry about 4 Sundays ago, and I was very happy to be there and give a little bit of a presentation to their congregation. And that's Pastor Peacher's congregation, who, I don't know if you know, do you know Pastor Peacher?
No, where is he located?
Well, they're in Westland, but I can get you the address. But
Okay.
he is a gifted orator. He gave such a great homily. And then he allowed me to talk to his congregation. But that's what I've been doing, trying to go around a little bit and educating people on this new no-fault law and things like that. But we handle all kinds of injury cases, Social Security, that kind of thing.
Okay, so I know there's a lot of people that they try to get their Social Security, and then there's a lot of so-called lawyers that gyp people out of their Social Security money. They say that they're lawyers, and they basically end up taking a lot of their money.
Right. Well, you've got to be careful. I mean, the Social Security system, it's an administrative system. It's not a court system per se.
Exactly.
So yes, you can call yourself a Social Security advocate, and you can represent somebody in the system. And then, if you're not careful, there are very strict rules that the Social Security Administration sets up regarding compensation to people who are your attorneys or advocates, if you will.
So can anybody be an advocate and collect a third? Like if you're trying to get, we're going somewhere else, but this is good too.
It's okay.
So because I was talking to some people about this, and they're kind of like in a jam, and they had their caretaker be their advocate,
Right.
and they ended up getting a lot of the back pay that they were supposed to get.
Well, you got to be careful because the rules are very simple. An attorney can charge a percentage, not a third. That's too high.
And that's what a lot of people are thinking.
But no matter what they charge, they can never get more than $6,000. So if somebody is taking more than $6,000 from a person's Social Security back pay, there's something wrong.
Okay, yeah, because they were taken.
Yeah, they're not supposed to do that.
So if Social Security find out, do they have to pay it back?
You mean the people who took it?
Yeah, the advocates.
They would have to. I don't know if the Social Security system has a mechanism by which they go after these crooks, but I think that the person could go to an attorney and go after that person civilly.
Yeah, because I know people that they say that they overpaid. They tell them they have to pay it back. So I was thinking they would probably tell the advocates
Yeah,
that too.
well, I don't know if there's a mechanism for that. I've never seen that. I think that would be probably too complicated for Social Security. It's a government program for us.
Of course, they're so simple. So anyway, we're going to get to the car insurance.
Right.
So the last time we were talking, you were saying that really not to listen to the people who come to you. Who are those people?
You mean
that get commission?
Oh, you mean the insurance agent?
Yeah, the agents.
Right.
So
you want to be careful with the insurance agent, because the insurance agents, to get paid, he has to sign people to contracts.
Right.
So he's looking to sign up as many people as he can, and he knows that if he quotes insurance that's too high, those people are going to turn around and go, that's too much for me, I'm not doing that, and they'll go look somewhere else. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of people, much like in Social Security, there's a lot of people selling fake insurance. Mm-hmm. So if you go to an agent and the agent says it's going to cost you $300 a month for insurance, you say that's too much, but you need to get your license tabs, or you want to get insurance. So your friend in the neighborhood says, oh, I know a guy who can get you cheap insurance. Well, that's not insurance.
I've been down that road.
He's getting you a certificate that somehow they either forged or stole.
Forged and stole, or stole.
Okay,
You're right.
Stole or both. And so you pay $50 or $75. You got your certificate. You can go to the Secretary of State. Typically, you'll be able to get your license tabs.
I know.
Because they don't check.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, you have no insurance, you get in an accident, and Progressive doesn't know your name.
You know what? I was so blessed because this happened like when I was 19 years old, and I did that, and somebody told me, they can get my plates for me, and I didn't have to get all this insurance, and I got my plates and everything. And something happened to where I was in some type of, somebody like bumped my car.
Right.
So, I'm acting all big and bad. And the person that got the insurance for me was like, don't do that. That insurance ain't good. So I'm like, oh my goodness, you getting ready to have me go to jail. Yeah. So that's how I found out that it was good enough to get the plates, but it wasn't good enough. Like if somebody, even if they bumped you, you couldn't stick your chest out and say, where's the police at?
Exactly. So the agent, a legitimate insurance agent, wants you to sign on the dotted line because that's how they get paid, right? Mm-hmm. They get paid by the amount of contracts they get signed. And so what they do is, in order to get you to sign, they'll give you the least amount of insurance that's legally possible. And believe me, you don't want that. I know insurance, especially in Detroit. They've redlined Detroit. It's awful. But getting the cheapest insurance is only going to cost you more money in the future.
Yeah.
Because you'll find out that I don't have medical care coverage. My Medicare pays, my Medicaid pays, but they want their money back.
Right.
So if you go after the person who hits you and you sue them, there's Medicare, or Medicaid, Medicare, or Blue Cross even knocking on your door saying, we want ours first.
So if you got a $10,000 lawsuit and your bill exceeds $10,000, they could just take all that $10,000.
That's correct. Right. You get zero.
Oh, man, that's wild.
So the lawyer gets his, the Medicare gets theirs, and you get nothing. It's dangerous.
That's a shame.
It's unbelievable. And I know lawyers who, I wish weren't true, but they were so happy with the new no-fault law because what they ended up doing is they took away a lot of no-fault benefits,
Yes.
but they gave what they call higher bodily injury rates. So now instead of the minimum being 20,000 to cover a car, it has to
Right.
be 50. So if
Okay.
you hit me and I sue you, your minimum insurance is 50. Well, that's better than 20, right?
Right.
So now instead of $20,000, I can go after you for $50,000, and all the attorneys are, I go to these
Scrambling
conventions.
around
Well,
or
they're going,
whatever,
this is great. We can get more money. It's more money for us because they get a third, right?
Mm-hmm.
The trouble is that after their third, now you got Medicare, now you got Medicaid. How much is left for you?
So you got hurt, and in the end, you get hurt and you get nothing.
You get if an attorney is doing it right, they're going to explain to the client before they even sue, here's where you're at.
Okay.
And this is what you're up against, okay? Because I don't know, if I were a person who was going to get very little, I wouldn't go through a lawsuit. I mean, I wouldn't go through the depositions and the insurance company coming after my good name or anything like that. I'm not sure I would do it.
So it really would behoove the average layperson not to sue.
It would behoove them to get an attorney who's going to explain everything to them so that they can make an informed decision on whether it's worth their while.
Makes sense. It makes sense. So
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail from my attorney friends, but
that's
what can
all
you
right.
do?
Well, we love you
We're
here.
blowing the top off of it, right?
So how did this? I mean, how did this come to be to where they said, well, this no-fault insurance law isn't working. We're going to make a new one. How did that come in?
Well, that came. They've been working at it for. Look, the insurance company back in 1973, the insurance industry wanted no fault because they thought it was going to work like workers' comp.
Okay.
You could get some benefits, but you're not going to be able to sue anybody. That's what they
Right.
wanted.
Okay.
They didn't get that. They got a very weird law that said not only are you going to get your benefits, but they're going to be unlimited medical for life, and you can sue somebody if you have a bad enough injury. Well, nobody.
So in other words, we're not taking care of these bums for the rest of their life.
Well, they were very upset because the insurance industry said this is not what we wanted. We wanted limitations, not expansions.
Okay.
So over the course of the last 40, 50 years, it's gotten to the point where they said, you're going to have to do something, Michigan legislature. They put their thumb to it. They gave the legislature a lot of money, donations. And next thing you know, the law was changed. No public hearings. Nobody like the
mayor?
MHA or the MTLA or the hospitals. Nobody got a chance to look at the law.
Isn't this illegal?
No, they can do it.
It's not illegal?
No, you don't have to. They're not required to have public hearings. When you've got a majority in there and they want to just run it through, they run it through. The thing I was really upset about, and most of the trial attorneys I know, was that Governor Whitmer, who's a Democrat and usually is on the side of the people and people who get hurt, victims, she just signed it. And that was it. And that was the end of the story.
I'm not understanding her part. And I understand, a lot of people kind of like downplay Whitmer, but because of this so-called pandemic, I think by her just coming into office when all of this was going on, I think she did the best she could. I also do believe that, we all make mistakes. We all human. But for her to sign a bill like this, that's just atrocious.
Yeah. I don't think she actually
Read it.
Well, I wouldn't go. Maybe. I won't
You
say
just
that.
put her John Hancock on.
Right. You can say that. You're a star on that. But I think that, and it's true about a lot of bills that get signed, I think that, well, for instance, you've got all these folks who were on lifetime insurance with lifetime care, and now the insurance company is saying, well, the new law doesn't allow for that, so we're not going to pay for it. So now there's all this litigation about that.
So it's stretching into other areas of
it,
insurance.
Is it retroactive? Is it the people who every day were in the hospital or a care center because they're quadriplegic or paraplegic, like a certain hockey player we know?
Yes.
They're cutting off his benefits.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
And
That's
so
sad.
it is. Not only is it sad, but there's nothing in the law that says it's retroactive. So, as a matter of fact, the Court of Appeals just heard the case about a week ago, and now they're going to take about 30 days or so to render their opinion on whether it's retroactive or not. And then one of those parties, whether it's the victims or the insurance industry, they're going to go to the Supreme Court, and then we're going to get a final answer on that.
Now, when I was going to paralegal school,
Yeah.
I was always told there's a back door to everything, especially in the legal field, in dealing with legal, different types of legal angles and different type of legalese, just say it
Right.
like that. So, if you're saying that these people, they could practically do whatever they want, is there anything that the public at large can do about changing this?
Well, I hate to recite the usual mantra about that, but it's really about the vote, right? I mean, if you have folks, look, we just saw the Supreme Court of the United States issue several rulings about different things.
Yeah, Roe versus Wade.
Okay, so they really didn't. What they really did is they said, look, this is not a constitutional issue, therefore the states have to decide. So now you're looking at the states like New York who allow a lot of leeway in terms of that issue, and you have states like Michigan whose old law from the 1800s don't allow
Common
any
laws. Mhm.
any abortion. Okay,
Right.
so now the people have to settle in and say, okay, we want this, whatever it is, whether you want it, you don't want it, we're going to vote for people who see it our way. And that's really what it comes down to. The same thing with no fault. If you're not happy with it, you've got to vote for people who are going to change it. And you got to find out what they're, just sitting there and voting for somebody because they're a Democrat or Republican
you.
is no way to go about your business. You got to find out what these people believe and whether or not they're telling the truth.
Exact. Thank you so much for saying that.
Right.
I appreciate you saying that, because that's what I've been trying to inform my viewers that, and then especially a lot of black folks. Well, because I tell people, hold your vote. If they're not going to give you nothing, you don't give them anything.
Right.
But then you get certain cultures saying, well, our forefathers died so we can do this. Yeah, but they died so you don't have to do it either.
Right.
So I appreciate you saying that. You have to look at a person's character, and you have to know that they're for you. And I was saying there's a lot of cultures, they'll tell them, we're not going to do anything until we see something. When they do something, then they vote them in.
Right.
But there's a lot of people, and not just black, from what I'm about to say right now, not just black, just elderly people. They are more targeted for votes than people know.
That's true.
Because a lot of elderly people, some of them don't read, some of them can't read, some of them have dementia, and their family goes and put the vote in for them.
That's true,
via what a politician then said.
Right.
And so it's really hard to even, find out who voted, what voted. I just feel like either way it go, that the votes are fixed now, in this day and age.
Yeah, I'd hate to think that, but I do know that a lot of people don't understand enough about the issue and about. I had a very interesting conversation this morning with some of my staff. We were talking about issues like the president getting rid of some of the school debt. And I said, who do you think is going to pay for that?
The people.
Okay, you got to pay for that. Yeah, of course, the people. And then I asked her how much, I said, well, how much taxes do you think the people pay? And she said, I don't know. And we talked about how much, and then we realized that last year, this country spent twice as much as they brought in on taxes. And then you got to ask the next question, well, who do they borrow the money from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're borrowing it from foreign countries.
Exactly. China, Russia,
Right.
Germany.
And how much influence do they have over our people?
Exactly.
It's very complicated.
You know what? It's not as complicated as the government would make it. This is the right hand's not letting the left hand know what's going on type of thing. It's like a game of Stratego, and
Right.
I just feel like us as lay people are like the pieces on the board being moved
Yeah.
around. and we don't have any control over what's going on. But I do try to tell people that your voice do matter, but it's where you put your voice.
That's right. You got to know what they really believe.
Yep. So I wanted to ask you about. You had sent me something in an email. I went over a little bit, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were talking about, the insurance.
Right.
But you said that there was a packet on page 2, some type of chart that was letting people know about, I don't know if it was the dangers of insurance.
Oh, I think what I was trying to get across was the fact that there are a whole series of issues that come up that you would never really, you wouldn't even think about it when you're getting insurance that can affect whether or not you have insurance, right? So you go and buy insurance for your car, you're driving around, you get into an accident, you make a claim, okay? That starts a process that you can't believe the process it starts, okay?
Lord.
The, insurance
When I
company,
see an attorney laughing about something, that's
because it's
kind of
it's-
dangerous.
because it's crazy. The first thing they do before they even think about paying your claim, right, is they try to figure out how they don't have to pay the claim. So they start digging into your past.
What?
Oh yeah, okay. For instance, your present. I mean, if you tell an insurance company, I just had a young man come into my office today, a real nice guy, and he says, "Well, when I got insurance, I was living in Southfield, Michigan, but then subsequently I had to, I wanted to flip a house in Detroit, but I couldn't get, plumbers and
wanted,
stuff
right.
to come in until I could prove I lived in the house. So I changed my address to Detroit,
Okay.
but I live in Southfield with my cousin, and so the insurance company thinks I'm in Southfield, but my license says Detroit." Okay? So now they're going to say, trust me, they're going to say, that's garaging fraud. We're not going to pay. Okay?
Okay, explain garaging fraud.
Garaging fraud is whenever you place a car someplace and don't tell the insurance company where that car is. Okay? So if you live in Detroit, look, I'll be frank. A lot of people have figured out that living in Sterling Heights, it's cheaper to buy insurance than living in Detroit. So if they've got an aunt or an uncle in Sterling Heights, that's where they tell the insurance company they live. They get cheaper insurance, but they really live in Detroit. It's all good until you get into an accident,
Oh, my
and then the insurance company says, by the way, where do you keep that car? Now you can try to lie, but they've already hired a private investigator
check out
to check.
everything.
You got it.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
right, it's called garaging fraud, and they will not pay your claim if they catch you at it.
Oh, my goodness.
So you're trying to survive and say, look, it's either buy groceries or pay my insurance, right? Or tell them I live in Sterling Heights.
Right.
I pick on Sterling Heights, but it happens a lot out there.
I just seen some stuff that just went on in Sterling Heights with the Sterling Heights police and a young black man.
Well, so that's what happens with garaging fraud. I mean,
that's basically the same thing as politicians saying they live one place and they don't. It's basically
yeah,
like
isn't
the
that
same
amazing?
thing.
Right. Well, you can't run for election certain places if you don't live there.
Exactly.
Right.
But you'll put your name on a house, but you still don't live there.
Or they'll get an apartment, or
Yeah, because I know, I think it was, oh man, because I used to talk about this man like nobody's business. His father is a senator. He's Jewish, and Gabe Leland. He was saying how he lived in the city, and he actually didn't live in the city. So,
Right.
yeah, that's so that could be considered a form of garaging, couldn't it?
It's something. I mean, it's called something different than that. I don't know, but there's ways around. You talk about the back door. There's ways around a lot of different things. And people find it.
Dang, the time has went so fast. We got like 6 minutes left.
Wow.
Yeah, time just
We were gabbing.
well, that's what I like. I want my guests to come on and be comfortable, and when the time flies, it just let you know that we're doing our job.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming. We have like maybe 5 minutes. We may take one call. The telephone number is 868 0342-868-0351, 4336. So we only have 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. I said the last 15 minutes, but I wanted my attorney friend, I'm going to call him a friend now, to talk to you guys about the insurance and how the game is played and the things that we need to look out for. So if no one's called, we're just going to continue to talk until
Sure.
it's over with. But it really it never amazes me how the government can sit up and say you can vote for one thing, but you can't vote for another thing.
Well, it's a complicated game they play, and most people are lacking in civics. I mean, I don't even know if they teach it anymore.
No,
So, you'll
they
have.
too busy trying to tell little kids about their sexuality.
Yeah, well, that's probably true too. I think that we should concentrate more on the
The
reading,
basics.
writing, arithmetic, and
The
maybe.
basics. That's what I grew up with. I turned
Yeah.
out fine.
Yeah.
I didn't need nobody to tell me about my sexuality. I figured it out, and then I had people
Yeah.
that I talked to. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of a weird world now that we live in with this kind of.
it's the last days as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my
It's
gosh! Don't say that on
It's
TV.
it's just too many. It's just too many things. I tell my audience all the time, it's the last days. It's just too many things going on.
No, I think that there have been periods of time in our history that we forget about. Okay, like the period of time from 1960 to 1970, there was all kinds of nastiness going on
Yes.
with the government, and even back in I think it's 1918, there were more bombs set off in New York
Yes.
than ever before because of the anarchists. So I have hope that things will right. The ship will straighten up.
Yeah, when the sky cracked, the ship will right. But you know what? Before we leave, I just want you to, let the viewers know, who you are, where you're located at,
Oh,
your
okay.
times that you're open and everything,
Sure.
and what you specialize in.
Right. So Lawrence Falls, and again, my office is in Southfield. You can find us on the internet. We have a web space. The name of the firm is Wygod, WIGOD, and Fallson. Our phone number is 248-356-3300. We handle a wide variety of things like personal injury, family law, and Social Security disability, and veterans benefits. So if you ever have need, and if you want to just call and talk about a problem, if I don't handle it, I can get you to somebody who can take care of you.
Okay. Well, we're going to take this call before we get out of here. Hello, caller, you on the air? Hello? Caller, you on the air? Hello, caller? Okay, well, they didn't want to say anything. I don't know if your TV might have been kind of loud because we're not really hearing that much if you want to call back, but how much time do we have? Okay, well, we have 2 minutes, so we're gonna ask Mr.
Fallson.
Falzon, because I say Falzon.
That's okay.
It sounds so
The E is
masculine.
it's my Sicilian cousins have the E at the end.
Oh, do they? Okay, it sounds so cool when I say it like that.
You could say it.
But if you're not busy, maybe next month you could come back. I would love to have you come back.
Anytime you
And
like.
we can discuss some more about the insurance laws and
Sure.
what's going on. You can keep us up to date on that and other things that may come across your table that you may be able to share with us.
Absolutely, be happy to come back.
Yeah, because I appreciate you. I appreciate
Thanks.
what you do as an attorney. That's a hard job. I used to work around a lot of attorneys. Some of them not so good, but some of them was very true to the game, and they tried to be. I've seen people get into the legal field, and they were good people, and they ended up slowly being corrupt.
Oh, that's
but then
terrible.
But then I know other attorneys that's been in the game for like 20 years, not as long. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I do. William Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them they've been in the game for a long time, and they they fly right.
Right.
I guess it all depends on the bribe that's given to you.
I guess.
So, but I just want to thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Your smile is so welcome here.
Okay.
All of your information is welcome here, and I just appreciate you. And I
Thank
just
you.
want to let you guys know that he will be back next month. So the 4th of July falls on a Monday, so I don't do my shows on the holidays because you don't look at TV on those Monday holidays. You'll be out with your family. So the following Monday, which would be the 11th, we'll be back. And me and Mr. Falzone,
That works.
we're going to put our heads together and see what will be a good date for him to come back so we can talk some more about the law, about the insurance and whatnot. So we love you. And until next time, stay strong and be strong.
All right.